There is a science to getting rich. And what I want to do is make sure you listen to this one to the end, because there's so much information I'm going to pour out really, really quickly. One of the things about there is a certain science to getting rich is I posted on my wall, and I'm going to read this really quick because each post I put on. And it's the very beginning of each chapter. He was so concise in what he said. And he said, there is a science of getting rich, and it's an exact science, like algebra or arithmetic. There are certain laws which govern the process of acquiring riches and wealth. And once these laws are learned and obeyed by anyone, that means you, anyone, that person will get rich with mathematical certainty. Mathematical certainty. So, as you go through this chapter and you listen to it, let me tell you what this did for me, all right? And if you didn't get this, I hope you got it. But one of the things that this chapter did is it took away every flippin' excuse I had. I had no excuses, and I'll cover that in a second, right? The other thing that it did for me is it gave me a clear path on how to be successful. And you're going to hear it if you didn't get it out of this chapter. So the first thing I want to do is tell you a really quick story. One of the things I've learned early in life is that if I mirror and match people, if I learn their success stories, that if I figured out how they did it in a certain way, you're going to hear me say that over and over again, is that they became successful. So how many of you have heard of Warren Buffett? If you don't know Warren Buffett's story, put in Warren Buffett documentary or just Warren Buffett. He's not only been the wealthiest person on the planet at some times, but I think he's consistently in the top 5 forever. I'd like to know. It's probably, years and years and years and years and years, right? So Warren Buffett, as he went out there and learned to make money, his very next thing that he did is he went to the library. And he found, listen closely, because you guys always hear where I got documentation beats conversation. He asked a librarian, and let's see if you would do this. He asked the librarian what book was checked out the most and read for investors. Have you ever thought about going to a library and saying, listen, I know there's a lot of books on a lot of stuff, right? But what is the most checked out book? What is the most purchased book? Because doesn't that make sense, right? And so the person was Benjamin Graham. If you guys went on Google right now, you guys know I love documentation. So if you go on and put in Google, if you put Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham shows up right away. Now, the one thing that Warren Buffett immediately did when he could afford to is he enrolled in Columbia Business School. Why do you think he enrolled in Columbia Business School? Because that's what Benjamin Graham did. He also did it because Benjamin Graham, just like Warren Buffett is today, stayed in Columbia, did all his investing there, didn't have to go to Wall Street in New York. He stayed in Columbia. Warren Buffett still lives in the house that he first purchased with him and his wife years and years ago, and still lives in Omaha, Nebraska. Does all his investings there. If you want to meet him, you come there. Watch how close people that are successful mirror and match and do exactly in a certain way, exactly the person that they learned from. So once he got enrolled in the Columbia Business School, he went to Benjamin Graham and he said, listen, I would like to be an apprentice. Benjamin Graham said, listen, why would I get you as an apprentice? He said, I read your book. I followed exactly what you taught in the book. I'm 19 years old and I have $62,000 in the bank by following exactly to a certain way out of your book. Benjamin Graham not only excuse me, not only made him an apprentice, but he hired him. He hired him. So if you go onto Benjamin Graham in Wikipedia, it says one of his influencers, people that he influenced, was Warren Buffett. See, I've always been fascinated with who the Yoda was. If this guy learned from who, learned from who, learned from who. So watch this. There's three groups of people in the world. One group of people in the world that are watching this video, even some of you watching this video and watch it recorded, you're just clueless. You know what I mean? You may never ever get it. Because if you know everything and you're a people pleaser, you know what I mean? And you're not willing to follow other people and do what they do because you got an ego, edging God out, you're a know-it-all, this stuff is never going to work for you. Never. Right? And we got that second group of people that are always going to just fight. They're just going to do something different. You know what I mean? And then you got those people that say, hey, listen, I'm miserable. I'm broke. I don't know what I'm doing. I know I think wrong. So I'm going to find someone to mirror and match. I'm going to do exactly everything that they did in that certain way. And I'm not going to question it. I'm just not going to. So when you hear other people's stories, like someone like Tony Robbins, right? And you listen to Tony Robbins and they said, what's your key to success? And he said, I followed Jim Rohn. I followed Jim Rohn for years and did everything in a certain way. And Jim Rohn says, you know what? I followed Earl Schoaf. I did exactly everything that Earl Schoaf did. If he had a morning ritual, I'm doing a morning ritual. If he had this time slot where he did this, I did that. If he had a job while he was building his empire, then I did that. Earl Schoaf learned from Earl Nightingale. And Earl Nightingale applied the principles out of the Science of Getting Rich. Wait a minute. This can't keep going like this. Yes, it does. So when you find people and you look at people like myself, right? Myself, I learned from a guy named Bill Gould. I wrote about it in my book, right? And if you go on, thelifemechanic.com, you'll get this book for free. How did I get this book? Become a best-selling author? I mirror and match somebody named Brendan Burchard. I paid him $10,000 and went to a 3-day course to learn how to make and build a Amazon bestseller book. That's what I did. So why did I follow him? Because he has a book called The Millionaire Messenger that is a #1 best-selling book. Duh. People crack me up. They go, this is so difficult. I don't know how it can be difficult. How can it be difficult? You're mirroring, matching exactly those people, right? So my mentor, Bill Gould, learned from a guy named Larry Huff and Larry Thompson. Larry Huff is no longer living. It was great to meet him. But my mentor could not stop talking about Larry Huff and could not stop talking about Larry Thompson. Who did they learn from? Jim Rohn. Are you guys following this? If you've heard of Bob Proctor, when Jim Rohn died, he had a tribute to him in not only Texas, but also LA. And you see, Jack Canford up there, Dr. Dennis Waitley, Les Brown, Bob Proctor, Zig Ziglar, and all these people that went out and really have made a huge difference in the world all come from a line of people, including Napoleon Hill and Think and Go Rich, that taught Earl Nightingale, and Conant, that turned around and taught Bob Proctor and Dennis Waitley. So I just want to share with you guys just a little analogy here. So if I learned from my mentors and then went to their mentors and then went to their mentors, see, I got to spend a lot of time with Jim Rohn, bought everything that he has, went over it again and again and again and again and again, and mastered it. So when I found out that Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill was actually commissioned by Andrew Carnegie, that said that he got his wealth out of this book, no brainer for me. No brainer. So the thing that you guys want to listen to is a certain way. So now what I want to do is shift gears a little bit, and you guys will get this. See, a lot of people believe that they're doing it exactly a certain way. And here's where it gets, all the excuses disappear. The excuses disappear right here. There's people your age that are rich and successful and happy and fulfilled. There's people from your religion. There's people from your state. There's people from your country. There's people from your town. See, everybody makes excuses about, I grew up in adopted homes. I grew up in foster homes. I was, abused when I was a child. So was Oprah. Oprah not only got raped, but guess this, she had a child from a relative and then lost her child. So when you guys think you got an excuse for not being successful, you don't. All your excuses are gone, because there's people that have become happy, fulfilled, rich, and successful that are exactly like you. They come from every background that you came from. It doesn't matter. And so when you really think about this, well, okay, all my excuses are gone. What about resources? Resources. Broke people that have no money are happy, fulfilled, and rich. Ugly people. People that might have an irritating voice and laugh. Now, I don't. Skinny people, fat people, every race, every religion. And see, it's your goal to find what you love in life and find somebody that did it in a certain way and mirror and match them. And what a lot of people don't do, I talked about the 3 groups of people that don't even know that this book exists. I share this all the time. I was with Eric Worre at a GoPro event, and he did a 6-figure summit. There was 412 people at that summit. And less than 1% of the people knew about this book, but all of them knew about Think and Grow Rich. I found that fascinating. Very, very fascinating. And so I was very, very blessed to be out of 412 people that had to document that they made over 6 figures. I was the second person in that room with the most lifetime earned commissions. And I'm not saying that to brag to any one of you. I'm just saying that it was important for me to master this stuff. If my mentors, Roger Penske and Bill Gould, if they made billions of dollars, then why not do that? Why not follow them and mess up? So the second group of people are people that they get it, but they try to do everything their own way. They don't follow a certain path. And a certain path is like a combination on a safe. Combination on a safe. I can give you the numbers, 17, 22, 41, 11. But if you don't know what order they're in, and you don't know if you got to go left, right, left, left, if you don't know the combination, you are going to work your brains out. And you're not going to get any results. You're going to be frustrated because you think that you're doing it in a certain way. I was chatting this morning with a lady named Dawn, incredible Life Mechanic University student. She's on our master classes. And she's not getting results, and I keep telling her as she goes through the Life Mechanic University that she's not doing it in a certain way. She's not doing it the way that I do it. So what people think is they can, learn from other people that are not documented. They can grab a bunch of undocumented information and try to make that work. That doesn't work. They can take little parts from each and every person out there that is documented and try to mix it up and try to come up with a cake. It doesn't work. So if you were going to make a certain cake, wouldn't you be smart enough to follow the recipe? And for those of you that are very good at cooking, the way that they prepare those ingredients, what temperature they're at, how they add the ingredients, it's done in a certain way. And if you take all the ingredients and try to just throw it together the way you think it should be thrown together, or listen to multiple experts that may or may not be documented, your recipe is going to suck. Are you guys getting this? So I had no problem doing it exactly a certain way. Finding someone that I could mirror and match that was documented, my mentor, Bill Gould, and then following exactly what he was doing, because the people that he had helped got results as well. It wasn't just me. Out of 22 or 21 people that I first went to that first seminar 28 years ago, 21 out of 22 made over $1 million. Did you guys get that? Because he wouldn't allow us to add ingredients. He wouldn't allow us to do it our own way. He would tell us, if you don't do it this way, you're out. And it was like, yes, sir. We did it a certain way. Now, when you think of people that are successful, like the military, do you think you get to go to boot camp and say, listen, I'm going to do it my own way? Get out of here. Get out of here. How about getting involved in martial arts? You get involved in martial arts, you pick a style, Taekwondo, like my sons did. They're black belts. I was blessed to be a black belt. And you go in there and they say, this is the way you do a kick. This is the way you do a kata. This is the way you do a pattern. And they mark you. You end up getting medals, which I'm so blessed. My sons have all kinds of medals, all kinds of trophies, all kinds of plaques, because you get judged on exactly the way and the timing that you do the pattern. You don't get silver and gold and bronze medals for doing it your own way. Did you guys get this? Oh, I just think I'll do this move, and I really don't like that move. And, I'm going to do this move a little slower. I'm going to do this move a little faster. I'm going to add in some of my stuff because I heard from this guy and this guy and this guy. And I heard from this girl and this girl and this girl. You go out and do it your way. You just don't, they won't even score you. Don't you find that interesting? So people that are mentors, people that are teachers, people that know how to, you don't become, because you go into being a professional basketball player, a professional baseball player, a professional athlete, and you learn from a coach and a teacher to do it exactly this way. You're making millions of dollars, and you go into a team and they go, this is the way you'll do it. This is the certain way that you do it. This is the way that we do it. If you don't, go someplace else. And that's the problem with affiliate marketing, network marketing, being an entrepreneur. Because a bunch of undocumented people jump into a business and copy a bunch of stuff that they don't know works. They're not doing it in a certain way. Some people are really putting a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice. And if you're not doing it a certain way, your results will suck. And then what do? You blame. Well, if I had money. No, resources are not the deal. Tony Robbins in a TED Talk. Go to the TED Talk. Tony Robbins is one of the top ones rated. Tony Robbins did an entire video, a TED Talk, based on this one thing. He said, for those of you that think that it's resources, let me prove you wrong. And people go, I just wish I had the right people. I just wish I had money. I just wish I knew how to do technology. None of that's true. And guess who's sitting in the audience? Al Gore. Today we're talking about the election. Al Gore was sitting in the election, and he said to Al Gore, you know what, Al Gore? You think that you didn't win the presidency because of the Supreme Court. You think that you didn't win the election because of George W. Bush. You think that you didn't win the election because of Florida and the attorney generals there. You think that you didn't win because of hanging chads. No, you didn't become president of the United States because you didn't do what the other presidents of the United States did. You didn't follow what they did in a certain way. You missed something. You messed up the combination. You did something wrong. Are you guys listening? So here's where I get to close up with two incredible analogies. First of all, this is great because if you realize anything that you want to do in your life, which I know there's some skepticals out there, so let me hit those. There are very, very few people. The percentage is so small, you can't even find it. There are a small group of people that didn't have a mentor and a teacher that became successful. These are people that flat out invented something, innovated something, like maybe a Steve Jobs, or a Elon Musk, or a Edison, but they were still inspired by other people. We don't have to do that. All we got to do is, first of all, find out what we love to do. Find out what our core is. And I'm already getting ahead in chapters, so I'm going to slow down here. Once you find out that core, all you got to do is do the research of somebody else that has already been successful. So if someone else has done it, so can you. So if you want to learn to dance, you can learn from people that know how to dance. If you want to learn how to sing, you can learn from people that know how to sing. If you want to learn how to be successful marketing yourself and a brand, there's unlimited examples of that. And so if you don't know what your core is, as I go through this course, make sure to go to lifemechanic.com, follow these blogs. Did you guys get some value out of this? I want to look really quick to see, because it's nothing to do with talent. Doesn't make a difference what your background is. There's someone rich in every business. Do you guys know this? Think about that. Every business. People go, well, maybe I'm picking the wrong business. Maybe you are for you, but there's wealthy people in real estate. There's wealthy doctors. There's wealthy lawyers. There's wealthy people that are affiliates. There's wealthy people that Mark Zuckerberg that knows how to use the internet. Start focusing on people that are documented. Got it? Let me see what else I wanted to cover here. That's it. Did you guys like this? Oh, one more mirror and matching. Just so I knock this out. Get it down. Let's say that you met Warren Buffett when you were 13, 12 years old. Warren Buffett invested in his very first stock based on Benjamin Graham's book when he was 12 or 13. Listen, please, closely. Listen. If every time Warren Buffett invested in a certain stock and then sold that stock and reinvested in the stock, what if you mirror and matched everything he did? You invested in the same stocks at the same time. You pulled out of stocks at the right place at the right time. If all you did was just follow Warren Buffett step by step by step by step by step, do you need to be smart? No. Do you need to be talented? No. Do you need to be good looking? No. Do you need to be skinny or fat? No. Do you need to know how to do your hair? No. Because even if you had 50 cents and he was investing $5, or you had $5 because he invested 50, or you invested 50 because he has 5,000. You see what I mean? If you could just follow exactly what he did, where would you be today? Benjamin Graham's book is still in the library. No, you can follow someone that Benjamin Graham taught, Warren Buffett. Now, here's one thing that I'll leave with. Documentation beats conversation. Do you know that Warren Buffett is virtually the only person in the world that one stock of his company, which used to be a textile company that he bought, Berkshire Hathaway. If you went there right now and wanted to buy one share of stock, I didn't look it up before I got on this video, over $100,000 for one share of stock. I've seen it as high as $120,000. Someone can Google real quick and put it in here. But if you saved up all your money just to buy one share of his stock, and you go on Google or any one of those things and put in Berkshire Hathaway, and then you see what it's growing over the last year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years. Here's somebody that's one of the wealthiest people and been there forever, that he doesn't even split his stock. You buy one share of his stock, he figures out the companies that he believes will win. You know, something like Fruit of the Loom. He even said, I just find companies, covering the asses of the masses. Dairy Queen, Geico Insurance. The guy knows what he needs to do. And every people was like, I think I'll go and put my money in one of these other, companies. Why? So they can lose 3% of your money a year? Crazy. So anyway, there you go. Mirror and match, get rid of your ego, follow something exactly the certain way, find out what it is, don't question what it is. Don't question it. Why? You don't have the wisdom and the knowledge and the experience to question someone that knows exactly. Is it really, Ryan? Holy cow. Ryan just posted up there $221,000 a share. Shows you the last time I looked at it, it was $100,000. So you don't need double your money, right? So I hope that you got value for this. Make sure that you go back and watch part, 2 and 1. This is part 3. Tomorrow, wow, I did it again. I wanted to go back here and what does anyone know? Hey, we'll see if someone is paying attention. What chapter am I covering tomorrow? Number 4, correct. My wife said number 4, but I wanted the title to it, love. That's okay. Is opportunity monopolized? See, this book is going to go through and break every limiting belief that you have. Now you know why I am confident. That's why you know that I'm successful. I know there's people that make $300,000 a month, $200 million a year doing online marketing. I can do this. You can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. So a lot of people go, there's too much competition. Stupid. Ignorant. You didn't know that you didn't know. You're making an up excuse. So that's what we're going to cover tomorrow. So if any one of you want to go a little quicker and faster, take all this knowledge that I put in my head in the last 28 years. I do personal coaching. It's incredible. You can go to lifemechanic.com/coaching. And I have different customized packages that help you do exactly what you need to do. Looking forward to helping Tina Smith tomorrow. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys got value from this. If you get inspired the way I did when I read this book, there was like pops, like popcorn. I can do this. I know I can do it. I'll find someone to mirror and match. I'll do exactly what they do. I'll follow a proven system. I won't question it. I'll do it. I'll get faith that they did it. I can do it. Click, 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 click. And that's why I've made the kind of income that I've made. That's why I have the lifestyle that I have. And that's why I've been able to show other people how to be able to follow something in a certain way. So if you don't know what that certain way is, you need to be a Life Mechanic University student. I put 27 hours for $99 plus about another, 50, 70 hours of training in there for $99. And people go, I don't know. If you don't do it, find a way. If you get it and you don't go through it, bingo. It's just like not going through the chapter of Science Getting Rich. Getting in the understanding, getting the pop, getting the wisdom, and then understanding how to master it and apply it. All right. Really excited to help each and every one of you. Thank you so much. A certain way. A certain way.